going to draw garlic this week. It's a little bit harder than we did the apple and the pear before, because those are more smooth surface, right? And garlic has bumps. It's kind of like pumpkin, right? So they have a light side, dark side, light side, dark side, because the whole thing actually is a sphere shape, right? It's round, but in each bump, they also have dark side, light side, core shadow, reflection, right? And so see this going to down here, the get reflects light here. So the bottom part here is lighter. So it gets a little bit complicated. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to finish it, right? And first, just draw a general shape of the garlic. A very light sketch, so you can erase it if you think it's wrong. And just like in the beginning, general sketch, and that's kind of like that. Then this goes here, see that goes here. Then this a little bit higher than that. Then go that way, say slanted this way, then slanted this way, and going here, kind of like that, right? Kind of like that. Then after that, there's going to be a little bit, I'm going to make this because that kind of in the center, so it's easy to find out where it should be. Then after I get this right, then everything else going to according to this and draw it, right? So that's another one. Here is another one. I can't really see that part. So for this, I'm going to break that part first. So this kind of like right here. Then here is a garlic right here. Then that's the bottom one, right? Then this going this way. It's getting harder. If you think this is too hard, and you can just draw one, and it's fine. All right. Okay, here. Now, after I kind of like sketched everything, then I'm like going to just shade the dark side like that. A little bit shading, ends right here. So, because this part is lighter, right? Like very lightly shaded. Then I'm going to shade this part, lightly shaded, and make sure this is lighter than that. It's not lighter than that. Give it a little bit. So it's a little bit too dark, and this lightly shaded. And emphasize that part a little bit, because that is dark. That is a core shadow. Okay, here is the first kind of step for that. Then this one too, the whole thing is in the shadow until here, right? Just shaded, 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 shaded. Okay, then this part, dark side, lighter side. Right, then that part, dark side, lighter side. Use like a medium tone. Okay, here's kind of my first step, right? Then after the first step, I'm going to added more detail, right? Get a little bit even darker because I kind of shaded the shape a little bit. So, but start from here. Make sure not put the end of a sphere too dark, okay? And make sure this is lighter than that. You can tell, right? This part is a little bit darker than that. So that's what I did, a little part darker. Make so then go down, shaded. I see that part is tiny bit darker, so that's why I make that part tiny bit darker. And go on, shaded, go on. Then I make sure the bottom part is lighter than the top. That's the reflection. Here is dark, it's reflection too, because this casting shadow reflects some dark right here. That's this reflection from the table, so that's lighter. Okay. This thing here. I feel like this part too dark. See, dark, go up, light, dark. Actually, this part is kind of like a casting shadow from here, so that's why it's so dark. Get the block again. Okay, then shade it. It gets too dark. I'm going to make that part a little lighter. So you keep fixing it, right? Then here we go. That's kind of like a casting shadow here, but not a straight line. It's a casting shadow. Now I'm going to get the little bit core shadow here. Core shadow here. Then go down, gets lighter. Here's the lighter part. Get a little bit gray. A little bit value here. Now this goes up like that. That goes up like this. That's too dark. I'm going to erase a little bit later. Just leave there right now. Then it's a lighter value. Get shadow here. That's the darker side. Then here's a core shadow. Here's a shape. It's gone. Here we go. Then I feel like this part is the darkest part, so try to get this part darker. Then everything else here is dark. That's too dark. Erase a little bit. So that's not as dark as here. Right, then here's a little bit shadow. I made it a little bit too dark there. Okay, here is a garlic, it's a casting shadow right here. Darker. Then go up. Go up. I'm going to use this darken the whole thing. Okay, then this is the second layer is done. I'm going to add detail later. And now this part, start with the dark side. This part is a little darker and go down. It's darker, light, dark. Now here is a darker part. That's the casting shadow. So I cannot make sure that part is darker enough. Then this one is in the shadow, but this is lighter than the top. I think it's a reflection from the bottom. Here as a core shadow here. It's blurry, blurry. Here is a casting shadow. And make sure this, it's a bump, right? So it's a dark and lighter side, and the shadow is curved this way. And here, the casting shadow turned, the dark side. See the shadow turned. Get rid of that. This value is so close you cannot see it. Get rid of this too. Let's make sure that's in the darker side. You can tell here is core shadow reflection, right? That's what I'm doing it. That's the casting shadow, I think. Top is a cylinder, dark side, lighter side. I'm gonna make a little bit background here. Get the edge, get the shape of it. Actually, here is a little dent kind of thing, so that's darker. Make sure I have the background right so I can get the shape. Getting it darker. See, add some details there, right? Let's see. Add some background then. This is darker, a little bit darker than the background. And for here, I can just shade it all together. Shade it all together. This part a little bit. Need to erase some highlight. Actually, I'm going to make that part a little bit darker. Dark. Felt like this part looks still funny. I need to change it. Make it shape blurry. And this part a little bit darker. That's too obvious. Blur it out. That's the bump. Like too dark. Okay, it's about that.